Well, there goes that. Let's start talking. Hi, friends. How are we doing today? If you're new here, hi. My name is Wesh Between the Covers, and I yap about smoke books and I do my makeup at the same time. So if you like makeup, if you like books, if you like yapping, hey, hi, welcome. I'm the girl for you. If you don't like makeup, that's okay. If you don't like books, that's okay. The only thing that you are required to like is yapping. So if you like that, cool. Awesome. Again, welcome. If you actively do not like makeup, though, the door's over there. The exit button is up in the corner somewhere. Okay? Go to another video. Bye. Bye, hater. Uh, but if you want to put this on and body double, chill, hang out, whatever, I welcome you. Enjoy. If you're returning, hey, Misty. Hey, thanks so much for coming back and hanging out. On today's agenda, we have Praise by Sara Cate. I should know that because I'm gonna be for real. I already sat down and filmed this video, but the footage, poof, gone into the beyonds, the oblivion. I don't know where it went. So this is the second time that I'm sitting here and doing this on a different day. Okay, I'm not twice in one day is too much for me. I can't take too much heartbreak in one day. But if this is posted, yay! Success! This time it's saved. Um, but let's let's clip my freaking hair out of my face and we'll talk about the book and do some makeup. Cool? Okay. See you on the flip. Alrighty. So praise, boy oh boy. This one and basically every other book in this series is a steamy romance novel, okay? Steamy. Praise definitely um, is for those that don't mind kink. Praise specifically delves into the world of dominant and submissive relationships, um, sexual openness, um, things of the sort. Our male main character is Emerson Grant. He is the owner of the Salacious Players Club. Well, I would say one of four. Yes, one of four owners of the Salacious Players Club, um, and this takes place right as the club is opening. So, again, two perspectives: male character Emerson, and our female character is Charlotte. Now, the story between these two is like a forbidden love story because Emerson is Charlotte's ex-boyfriend's dad. Okay? So that right there. You already know where I'm going if you haven't read this book already. So the main story starts off with Charlotte and her ex-boyfriend Beau breaking up and moving into separate living situations. So Beau and Charlotte used to have their own apartment, and in moving and breaking up, they get their security deposit checks back. But Beau does not have those checks, and Charlotte went to go get her half of the money. But Beau said, "Yeah, I don't have it. The checks got sent to my dad's house. You can go get your half though." So Charlotte does exactly that, and she steps on up to Emerson Grant's front doorstep, and he thinks that she is somebody else. So when Charlotte gets there, or Charlie, I'm just gonna call her Charlie. That's her nickname in the book. Emerson's really the only one that calls her Charlotte. Um, but when Charlie gets there, Emerson thinks that she is his new secretary. And Emerson doesn't have, the typical secretary uh, experience. He doesn't hire the typical secretary. You're gonna do more than answer phone calls and schedule appointments and check emails and stuff. Okay, Emerson wants you on your knees and ready to go for him. You're gonna be there for emotional support, physical support, all of that. So Emerson thinks that she's there for the job, and he has her go into his office and wait for him. And when she's not on her knees when he gets in the room, he's like, hello? What kind of secretary are you gonna be? And Charlotte is mad confused. Charlie is like, what the fudge is going on? Like, I'm just here to pick up my security deposit check. And Emerson is mortified. He's like, ew, I thought you were somebody else. She's like, I don't. Do I want to know? Really, what you thought I was, what I was here for? But once that is all squared away, Charlie gets her half of the money, and she goes on her merry way. But Emerson now has this in his head. He's like, oh, Charlie could be a really great pawn to get to my son, because Bo does not want to talk to Emerson at freaking all because of the world of kink and the fact that he is opening a sex club. Bo is very vanilla in his mind. He's like, nope, kink is gross and disgusting. Like, no, thank you. Um, and he thinks that his dad is like some weird sexual deviant pervert for, running the Salacious app, which they designed to pair people based off their kinks. So, brats with brat tamers, doms with subs, etc., etc. So, Bo is highly, highly against this, and because of this, has not talked to his dad in a long, long time. So Emerson sees Charlie as an opportunity to get to Bo. And Charlotte has a job. She works at the roller rink. And why does my forehead look like that? Is that just a shadow? Why do I look like that? Anyway, uh, Charlotte works at the roller rink, but Emerson goes to the roller rink and offers her a job as his real secretary because they clearly got off on the wrong foot as far as secretarying goes. So Emerson goes and he's like, hey, I'd like you to come and work for me, but like as a real secretary, not the kind that I thought you were when you came to pick up the check. Charlie's like, okay, I guess. I'll think about it. Whatever. But Charlie ends up taking the job, and on her first day, she wears something a little scandalous, and Emerson finds her a little hard to ignore. But he does, for the sake of the fact that that is his son's ex-girlfriend, and she's like 20 years younger than him. But Emerson does a good job at first of keeping this a nice, respectable boss secretary situation. But Charlie gets curious. She's like, but like, what if I want to be the secretary that's on their knees waiting for him? So once Charlie's there for a little while, and she goes on her lunch runs for Emerson and is there answering the emails and doing whatever. a normal secretary does. She gets curious and she starts doing more research on kink and being told that you're a good girl and all of that, the dom sub relationship. I was trying to think the word dom sub relationship, um, and all the rules and requirements and everything that comes with that territory. So once Charlie gets his idea in her head, she is running with it. She's all about it and needs Emerson to teach her the ways. So he does. And they end up starting this forbidden relationship. And Emerson is like, I didn't want this to go this way. You're my son's ex girlfriend. No. But obviously, they fall for each other in the end. Let's be real. Let's be so freaking for real. So they play at this, I can't be with you, blah blah blah, back and forth, for a while. But again, let's be real. Happy endings. Anyway, but Emerson's still trying to keep it strictly professional for a while, even in teaching Charlotte about this lifestyle. And Emerson brings Charlie to the grand opening of the club. And during that night, she gets to experience so many different things. But she ends up in the voyeur hall and watching a demonstration uh, performed by Madame Kink. And that sets everything ablaze. Emerson is like, ew, well, you know. So they start getting a little freaky deaky from that point forward. But things go a little haywire pretty quickly because Bo shows up and on this day that Bo shows up, Emerson gives Charlie a vibrator. I was trying to figure out how to censor this for YouTube, but like I don't think I can. At least not that word. So Emerson gives Charlie this remote controlled vibrator. He's got the remote and she's got it in and she's ready. But Bo shows up and the remote is kind of out in the open. And she is hoping and freaking praying that Bo does not see, he does not notice, whatever. But he he does, and that vibrator inadvertently freaking exposes their secret. And Bo ends up leaving really freaking peeved and from Emerson trying to de-escalate the situation. He basically was like, well, she means nothing, this is nothing. And at this point Charlie's like, what do you mean this is nothing? Like, excuse me, I thought what we had was real. What do you mean that I mean nothing? And then she gets everything in her head that she was never gonna compare to Bo, and she couldn't fill the void in Emerson's heart and life that a relationship with his son would give him, and whatever. So Charlie is a sad sack for a while, and she is just mopey, extra mopey, and she ends up going to the club on her own and having a little reckless moment. But actually, before then, I just remembered. Um, Charlie gets ambushed by her dad for being involved with Emerson. Charlie's dad is not in the picture as far as her life with her mom and her sister. He is not the best freaking guy at all because Charlie's sister is trans and he is that son of a bitch that cannot come to terms with people expressing themselves and living how they want to freaking live, dog. If your kid feels trapped in their body and not feeling like the gender that they were assigned at birth, freaking be supportive. Freaking be supportive. Sorry. That's just my opinion. And I'm sure everybody else that's here watching, that is your opinion too. I'm not gonna assume or put any ideals in your brain or shove anything down your throat, but decent human being. Just saying. But anyway, Charlie's dad is one of those that does not subscribe to the lifestyle of being a decent human. So he cut himself out of Charlie and Sophie's life by just being a dickhead and being transphobic and XYZ. But he comes barging onto the property and getting all up in Charlie's grill because she's been spending time at the sex club. And he's not okay with that, even though she's a grown adult. She is in her 20s. Like, she can make her own decisions. If she wants to parade around with a 40-year-old man in a sex club, go for it. You know? Whatever. Who's to stop you? Apparently your dad. That doesn't subscribe to that lifestyle either. To the freaking kinky lifestyle. But neither here nor there. So during this kerfuffle that Charlie's dad causes, Emerson and Bo end up coming to the house and breaking up the situation at hand because Sophie, Charlie's little sister, calls Emerson in for help. Because at this point, too, Charlie's like, "What are you doing here? Excuse me. Thought we were mad at each other, like you were mad at me." But during Charlie's time apart from Emerson, she realizes how much she's grown as a person and, in her emotions and everything like that. And that's cool and that's fine and that's dandy. But Emerson comes and saves the day and basically tells the dad to shut the heck up and get the heck off the property, or else he's gonna catch the one too. So after they deal with the dad, Bo and Emerson, they end up going out and having a little heart-to-heart convo about how Emerson feels about Charlie and how he wishes that Bo would get on board and sign off on it, even though it, he doesn't have to. They're all grown-ups. They don't need permission to do what they're doing. Like, yeah, sure. I don't think I would be cool with the idea if I were Bo. Like, that's it's a little odd. But you know, love is love, and if people who are grown adults and can make their own conscious decisions want to be together despite whatever, as long as it's not like incest or hurting anybody or whatever, freaking let them. But Emerson just wants Bo to realize that it wasn't something that he set out to do. He's like, dog, I was really just trying to get Charlie to get you back in my life. And when I say get Charlie, I don't mean getting her pants. I just meant hiring her as my secretary. Like I just wanted my son back, and I wanted a relationship with you again. And at this point, Bo's like, well, I'm not okay with it, really, but we can work on it. So this little kumbaya moment gives Emerson the I don't know, just what he needed to be able to continue his relationship with Charlie because he loves her and like he wants to be with her despite everything else. He wants to be with her. And he's grown a lot with her and she's grown a lot with him and blah blah blah. But Emerson kind of wrote off the idea of love. He was just into it for hookups and whatever after him and Bo's mom split up. So he wasn't looking for anything, but he sure as heck got it. And Charlie challenged him just as much as he challenged her. And they were just freaking meant to be. But their relationship comes back together when Charlie decides to return to the club and make Emerson jealous, essentially, with Eden. And she's with Eden when Emerson barges in and takes her, and they have their own moment in the voyeur room because why the hell not? um, but they end up living their happily ever after, and Emerson ends up getting on his knees and pledging his commitment to Charlie, as one does, I guess. But he vows to her that he will be hers and they'll work on everything from here on out, and there's going to be nothing that stops them from being together. So Charlie ends up moving on in with Emerson, and they do all their dom sub relationship stuff, and they still, well, Charlie's still learning, but Emerson does not like brats, so Charlie has to work on not being bratty and being a good girl. Couldn't be me. I am too much of a brat to save my own life. And like that's just in life in general. I just like to push the buttons. Push buttons and push boundaries. You know? Nothing stops me. I just need to know what the repercussions of things are. I need to know the repercussions for my actions. But anyway, Emerson, acknowledges his past mistakes and promises to prioritize their love moving forward. Going back to their moment in the the voyeur room, but their relationship evolves into a partnership built on trust and mutual respect. And Emerson assures Charlie that she is a priority for him. And ooh, I don't like that. And they both embrace the idea of having a nice, normal, domestic relationship. Built outside of kink. Um, but like I said, Charlie moves in, and they live happily ever after. The end. But it's not really the end because their relationship is still talked about in the next couple of installments of the Salacious Players Club series, um, where Charlie and Emerson end up getting married and everything like that. I'll go into depth a little about that more when we get to Mercy, because that book follows Beau and another character, another partial owner of the Salacious Players Club. um, but we'll get there when we get there. Um, Overall, really good book. I really enjoy the delving into the world of kink. I like that sexy stuff happened really early on. I mean, they Sara Cate started off this book strong with like just a direct quote from Emerson retelling a recent sexual endeavor that he had been on or had whatever. The prologue takes place with Emerson telling a story of how he had this girl on her knees and he said, "Suck my rooster like a good girl," and she reared back and punched him right in the face. And every book that has to deal with the the owners of Salacious, that prologue basically starts the same, just in the different perspectives of the owners. So obviously, this prologue came from Emerson's perspective of telling that story and how he thought that Garrett, I believe it was, um, yeah, was a genius for the the idea of an app that pairs people based off their kinks. And they wanted it to be more of like a dating app rather than a hookup app, because people should feel safe and be matched based off of things like that. And I like that their club too, uh when Salacious is opened and just being talked about and in the works, it's a club for everybody. It's not just for men or whatever. They want women to feel safe and everything. And have it where it's a place where everybody can, well, not everybody, but like, not minors can go, and not creeps either. You don't want to be a creep and you don't want to be a child. Um, but people can go and express themselves or learn and everything like that. I think that that's pretty cool. But I really liked this book. I'm going to go off camera real quick and do my eyebrows. I don't think I'm gonna do any eyeliner with this look. I might add some more glitter, but I'm definitely gonna go do my eyebrows, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was going to do the glitter on camera, okay, but then I opened it, and it was dry, and I was sad, so I had to reconstitute it. This is the Melt X Bailey Sarian original collection, the Boom Slang glitter eye gel. The first time I've opened it, and it was dry. Whatever, it's fine. I just mixed it with some Anastasia brow gel. Is it eye safe? I don't know, but it is today. So anyway, had empty no thoughts now because I was busy fixing my glitter and then doing my mascara because I do mascara for like 3 minutes without speaking or breathing or anything. Oh, during the time that Charlie and Emerson were like hiding their relationship, they weren't really doing that great of a job because Sophie's little, or not Sophie, fucking Charlie's little sister Sophie and her mom Gwen were catching on so quickly. Like, Sophie had a birthday party and Emerson showed up and they were out to dinner or something and Emerson came. Like, dog, do better job trying to hide stuff. I mean, granted, Charlie did not invite Emerson to the birthday party. He just kind of showed up because they were texting and she was like, I'm out. I'm at like my sister's birthday party or whatever, and he just shows up. But whatever. Anyway, but like he was just there, and freaking they knew they thought they were slick trying to hide it, but they freaking everybody freaking knew. Everybody and their mama knew, except for Bo. Poor Bo. He didn't know until he knew, and now, even though that he knows, he's not overly chill with it, but he gets used to it, I guess. As used to it as you can be, I guess. Because again, like, that's not really a super duper comfortable situation, I imagine. Like, your dad boning your ex-girlfriend. Yikes. I'm not judging, but like, I can't imagine that that's you know, the most comfortable of situations. But who am I? Overall, though, fantastic read. I know that I've said it already, but 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend. Um, Definitely a must read, I feel, if you like if you like kink, if you like the idea of kink, anything, of that vein. If you're not a vanilla girly, then I definitely recommend. Um, yeah, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Sorry, I dropped something. There we go. Definitely a 7 out of 10. Room for improvement with really anything. But I after reading some of the other books in the series, because I have finished this series. It's not like when I was reading the Devil's Night series and I was kind of reading and reacting in real time. I have some time to sit with my thoughts and my feelings on books now. I'm very backlogged on books as far as like videos go now, which is good because I've got plenty of books to choose from to talk about now. But I've had some time to think. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Um, there are definitely some other books in this series that I think were better. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. If you have read this series or even just this book, definitely let me know your take, your thoughts, your feelings in the comments down below. Cause I like to talk about it, you know? I like sharing thoughts and feelings about books with people that I have read, that they have read as well. But even if you didn't read the book, just based off of my summary and synopsis of everything that happened, let me know what you thought. How would you feel if your parent was boinking your ex? I don't think I'd be very chill about it. Although I guess if you're the shitty ex, then you got no room to speak. But if your ex was like decent and you know, you I guess ended things like amicably, then yeah, I don't know actually. But if you're the shitty ex, I feel like you've got no room to speak, because your ex then deserved better. But if your ex was shitty and your parent is boinking them, then I don't know. I feel like that says something about both of them. Not that Charlotte was the shitty ex, Beau was the shitty ex. He was just a shitty boyfriend. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he's got no room to have an opinion. But obviously, clearly, at the end of the day, again, I don't think I would be very chill with it either way. But my ex was shitty, so that's on that. That's that tea of the day. Whoops. But overall, like I said, 7 out of 10 would definitely recommend. But there are some better installments in this series. But that's all I have today. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to my ramblings on praise. Fingers crossed this video saves, and all of this footage saves, so that I can upload it and so that you're watching it right now. so far so good. Not to jinx myself, but again, if you're seeing this, yay. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. If you liked the video today, like it. If you disliked it, that's okay. You can dislike it. There's no hard feelings. Next week we'll talk about something. Maybe we'll talk about another um installment in the Salacious Players Club series, or maybe we'll talk about something else. I just recently finished First Time Caller. That one was pretty good. Wasn't like super duper spicy, but it was cute. It was nice little cute romance book. um, but yeah, if you've made it this far, if you've read, praise. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and feelings. If you haven't, comment. I don't know what you're eating for dinner because I'm hungry right now, and I'm about to go have some dinner. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.